Welcome back to the channel, lads and ladies, and welcome to another episode of Toshiothunder here in War Thunder. Today I was playing a bit of 6.7 Britain again, and I had, well, a mediocre match that was still pretty interesting for me, and yet there were a couple of players on my team that just had an incredible match, and I'm kind of curious about, well, what they were up to, because they were very, very prominent in the kill feed. So, not Vladimir Proxy. What do we have? All Blacks 12 was one of those that was just getting an incredible number of kills, and I'm not sure what he means to say with his name, but here he is in the M56 Scorpion, a vehicle that is very hit or miss, but for an aggressive and experienced player, it has a very high skill ceiling. So I'm looking forward to seeing what all the Blacks can do with this one. Maybe he's referring to my custom camouflages. I love to just take a regular camouflage and darken the colors. I think it makes everything look just a little bit cooler. And I guess World of Tanks feels the same way as well. But that's a story for another time. And I saw this guy take off way ahead of us, and I think he actually gets nuked right off the bat here. Let me just turn off. Yep, there he goes. So with a start like this, you wouldn't think that he would have an incredible match. And while he is getting himself back into position, I was actually right behind him here. So I'll just go ahead and leave these bars up, as I'll be jumping between people a few times. And you can see that on the other side, I lost my commander somehow? Well, interesting. On the other side here, well, there's some bad news coming. IS-7 paired up with a Leo. That is a deadly, deadly combination. It's also evidence that as the T-92 just gets boondock sainted there. Oh my gosh. So I roll around the corner, take my shot at the IS-7, and immediately just get neutered by that 7.7 battle rating Leo 1 hanging out with the IS-7. So I was not doing all that much, but here is All Blacks in the M50 Ontos, and his second shot, his third, go into the IS-7, 4, 5, going into an RU-251, getting himself 2 kills and using up his first round of ammunition. Now he exits the vehicle. Did he J out, or did he get destroyed by someone? Let's check the battlefield. No, a Leopard destroyed him. So again, not what you would consider the strongest start to the match. Ooh, as Manfriend20, our Pinoy player, watches the... oh geez, what's the name of that tank? I can't remember it right now. Meanwhile, just get nuked. Meanwhile, I was actually having some good fortune in the Caernarvon. The Caernarvon, excuse my pronunciation of that vehicle's name, but Solid Shot is actually fairly good in this tank, and it is a reasonably reliable heavy tank. Big fan of the Caernarvon. What is our boy All Blacks up to? Here is the vehicle where he was just romping and a-stomping. So if we look, he is in the, what's this, the M26E11, the Super Pershing. So this is actually a 6.3 battle rating vehicle, and he is going to have some very, very good fortune in such. Ooh, I can even see his player view. That's awesome. I haven't used this feature in ever. Actually, I'm on the online battle replay system, so a good hit on the Leo just turns into nothing. That's kind of disappointing. Using his machine gun to spot the IS-7. Here's a trick that's worked well. Oh, that was so close to going in. That's a trick that's worked very well for me in the past, using the binoculars to set up your shot and then switching to the main gun sight to fire the round. Now he's trying to peer through this cloud of smoke. Not really anything you can do there. He sees movement. He has a second target. You can see that he moved toward it, noticing, but he gets a beautiful shot into the top of that Leopard, taking down what would be the primary target. Now watching the skies, I did notice he got a few air kills. Is he actually going to shoot down this airplane? Let's watch. This is exciting. It's a Stuka. Are those bombs or gun pods on his wings? Anyway, no bother. It gets shredded to pieces before our hero can notice, and a nice side shot into the IS-7. Unfortunately, that side armor is extremely thick and well angled, so no sauce. Now pushing up, all black now. Maybe he's a roulette man, always betting on that, well, what would be a 50-50 chance, except that I believe 2 squares are actually green, so the house gets its cut one way or another. Up to 4 kills now with 2 deaths. He appeared to be a very aggressive player starting off the match in the tank destroyers, and yet he wasn't able to have any success with those speedy boys rushing into combat. I didn't finish my story. Boy, he really is an active player, switching between camera views, using those binos to spot targets, popping in and out, just checking constantly for any kind of movement. This is a play style that tends to yield good results. Notice how he doesn't stay in binocular view for too long. And I didn't finish telling you that I looked this guy up on War Thunder, and that would be an allied tank. Looks like a Centurion. I looked this guy up on War Thunder, and he actually has a good number of battles under his belt, with almost twice as many arcade battles as realistic battles completed. So that kind of surprised me, especially when you see how well he's going to do in this match. And I didn't hear from him, so this isn't a replay that he sent in. I just thought, hey, it'd be neat to try out the online replay system with you guys, and I've actually tried to make a video twice today and just lost the footage, so I decided to go for something completely different. Now, with a nice one shot on, what is that? Looked like one of those Soviet mediums that all look the same to me, the Frying Pan Mark 12. And around the corner on the other side of the tent, what is that? Now, all black is in the middle of it. One thing that I didn't mention about this battle is that the enemy team just had an incredible number of respawns. So many vehicles kept on spawning the field, and it makes sense. The German 6-7 lineup is vast right now, and they're some of them at a 7-7 battle rating, so there really are a ton of vehicles for the Germans to select from. 2 very quick kills there. If you blink, you've missed it, and you wouldn't think that the Super Pershing would be doing so well. Again, this is a 6.3 battle rating tank, and it's kind of earned that battle rating. At 6.3, it functions as a somewhat overweight, heavy tank. The gun, a long 90mm, nothing really to brag about, especially at this battle rating. Again, this is facing 7.7 vehicles. So here we go. It looks like a Jagdpanzer 4.5 gets one in through the highly angled roof armor, but no problem. Looks like the 90 millimeters was enough to, what's it called, to overwhelm that angling. And a bit of replay bug there as the weather suddenly changes to bright clear day. It was a difficult match to see anything in, but I'm very pleased with the these are called tournament replays that are available from the War Thunder website. I'll really have to try out some more of these. I mean, I don't need to play great matches if I can share other people's results that are much, much better to learn from than my own. And when it comes to preparing for a tournament or just trying to improve your skills, there's nothing better than watching a skilled player. I've already noticed a few things about All Blacks here that I can learn from. Mainly, he very effectively is positioning himself in the midst of where the enemy needs to be, and yet he's constantly changing his position. He keeps on catching people off guard, catching them in transition, or getting those side and rear shots. And once the enemy figures out where he is, or before I should say, they figure out where he is, he's snaking around the battlefield. This is really a way that I like to play in a quick vehicle like the M18, but oh man, as he one-shots the Kugelblitz, that was gorgeous. Honestly, I don't have, what is this? What is this? It looks like an Ostwind, judging from the tracer. Nope, it's the Soviet version of the same. I can't remember the name of that thing, but I think it has a 5-round clipazine. Not quite so good as the Ostwind, but now one more fire should take down this, looks like a T-44-120 if I'm not mistaken. So he's doomed. His crew was turned red in the last hit, so Leo aiming, doesn't have to aim up very high, gets him in the booty. Leo will not be able to return fire from that angle. Now, notice All Blacks still checking his backside, looking around. He is in the midst of the action, and yet he's at just the right spot to catch the enemy unawares. They were far too busy slaughtering the rest of our team. Like I said, I had a decent match. I think I had 5 kills and 3 deaths, so that's not terrible, especially since, as I mentioned, I'm still dusting off my British 6.7. And yet, you look at this gameplay of the Super Pershing, All Blacks up to 13 kills here. My goodness, and still going strong. Whirlwind. He gets around into the, I almost want to say cupola, just the giant whatever the heck that is at the top. Not enough to set off the fuse. Again, notice this, before every shot, All Blacks is doing a full 360 check of his surroundings. These are the skills of, or I should say, these are the practices of a skilled player. It's not just that this guy got lucky, it's that he was using his map awareness. Now he's decapping the A point. He's noticing every ping on the map. Something else that I haven't mentioned, and this is something that really limits my skill as a player. I really just don't have the attention span to check the map and check my 6, check all my corners, and also actually spot enemy tanks. Speaking of, a shot comes in from the left. Tiger 2H takes down All Blacks. So now there's only a few players left on the battlefield. I'm here in the Tortoise, and look at this. A T-44 comes up, and then my 17-pounder round just disappears on his gun barrel because reasons. I get set a fuego. And yet, well, I stayed alive for a little bit. An ally takes down the T-44. The fire goes out, and I actually survived. So I will continue to carry on, pick up another kill, and deal some critical damage to a Ferdinand before the match ends. And it is going to end fairly soon. What is All Blacks doing? He's in the T-34. Interesting. He has a T-34 in his lineup, and he chose the Super Pershing instead. This is a very interesting choice of his, and I can sort of see why he might do this. Perhaps he didn't have enough spawn points. In fact, now that I think of it, he wouldn't have had enough. Oh, who's that? Look who's backing me up. So here he is, the hero of this match, really, with our hero over here. And the two of us are going to bully some Germans as we pull the a side maneuver on this massive number of enemies that have come to the A point. And now our team has recaptured it. You can see that we're all focused here on defending the A point, playing the objective. There's really no time to do anything else, and All Blacks gets taken down again, now by a Tiger 2P. He is really giving everything to this match. So I happened to have survived that encounter, partially because, well, I'm just too slow to really get in trouble. Everybody else is encountering the enemy before I do. So maybe we'll just finish this replay from my perspective. I really was just blown away by the performance of two players on my team. Let's see if I can find their names real quick. There was All Blacks, and then who else was it? Oh my goodness, T-Tangkeu with 8 kills already at this point, playing the T-114. Brave little toaster, great tank. Can't tell that one there. 4 air kills by Forlis Oni Mikodaze. Oni Mikodaze. Joey 246 with 5 ground kills. You can see our team was doing fairly well, and yet at the lower end of our team it was just a complete slaughter. So that happened, and unfortunately, oh my goodness, Tangeku with 11 kills now, rocking that T-114. If you were wondering if the T-114 has potential, yes, it very much does. But again, that's one of those vehicles like the M56 Scorpion that has a really steep learning curve, and yet a very high skill cap. You can really do some incredible things with this vehicle under the right circumstances. So, as I mentioned, we were not able to achieve victory in this match. If you look, there's a Ferdinand that was just getting pummeled, and here we are running out of points. We're still holding the A point at this time. If I can turn things around real quick, and our team is just furiously trying to defend this point. I was still alive in the Tortoise at this point, and well, things just just weren't working out for us. Now you see that the A cap is clear, and our teammates, including Tangeku and All Blacks and myself, we were all rolling in, trying to secure that A point. Oh, and Tangeku just went down. What else do we have here? We have the enemy team rolling in with everything they have. A Tiger 2H, an Ostwind, a Kugelblitz. Again, these Germans just kept on spawning. Tangeku with the P47, not a bad choice. Here I am still in the Tortoise. We'll go ahead and use my view to continue this battle as we focus on the A point. Look at that, our tickets are running down, and we're getting kill after kill after kill on these Germans who are rolling into the cap. You'll see some of my rounds coming in eventually. Again, I'm in a Tortoise. So there we go. We got a great hit on a Tiger 2. And look at this, just the massive number of enemies rolling in a coordinated push on the cap. If there's anything you can take away from this match specifically, it is the coordination of teamwork, spreading out your forces and blanketing the objective areas, pulling good surrounds and getting that the side and rear shots on enemies who are focusing on your allies. I was being the paladin in the tortoise with my smite evil AP shots, and being able to just soak all kinds of damage from targets like this Tiger 2H. And here I am, look, I'm rolling in, but I was just too late. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. It's a totally different perspective. Try out the War Thunder tournament replays. I'll give you a quick rundown on how to use this. So you go to warthunder.com/en. Well, I speak English, so /en for me. /tournament/replay. And then that will take you to, let's just jump straight there. If there's a slash, it worked for us. Okay, so yes, it uses cookies, I know that. So I click the box that says find replays with my participation, and then if I want to search by a user nickname, I'll just type in the name of a person that was playing in the match that I'm interested in, just like I did there. I go find, and that'll find a match where both I and this person were in a match together. And that's a very convenient way of finding a match. And look, there's only one. We played one battle that day, so click in the box to find, and then it gives you a list of the players. You click on them, and it'll show you their profile on War Thunder. So there's Manfred20, our Pinoy champion. By the way, my grandpa is actually Filipino. So there you go. He's a Pinoy as well. What else could we? I'm getting distracted. Sorry. It's quite late, as you can see. That's the AM. I really should have been awake, or should have been asleep like 3 hours ago, but I took an energy drink right before teaching my class tonight because I didn't want to fall asleep on the road. And, well, I'm just a little bit amped up. So, are you still tracking with me? You find your match. You can ignore all of this. Then, you need to launch War Thunder and log in, go into the game, and get into the hangar. And then, once you're in the hangar, come back to this page and click View Replay. Now you can download a replay, but it's a really stupid system. To download it, it's in 27 parts for this replay because Gaijin's too cheap to host that size of file in one place, so you have to download this whole thing and then compile it somehow. You're a whole lot better off just clicking this View button when you have War Thunder launched and you're sitting in your hangar. You click the View button. I'll show you how it works. So, View Replay. Now Alt-Tab over to War Thunder, and you'll see that we're loading up that replay once again. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Check out that replay system, and I'll try and share some more multi-view matches with you that way. And obviously we were jumping between different tanks, the Mighty Jingles style, and it was really hard to get a feel for what each individual person was experiencing. We did focus on that player All the Blacks because I was very impressed, and I was really curious about how he racked up kills so quickly. And it really had to do with going into the objective area and just snaking in between enemy positions and taking down enemies one by one by one. Almost every one of those was hiding behind some kind of solid cover and waiting for the enemy to reveal theirself, which is the right way to go about doing things under most circumstances. And yet, every now and then, there is a better way. Forlis, okay. Alice, Onimiko Daze, was very interested in playing the anti-aircrafting game. Man, you could just you could break down a match in so many different ways. I can look at the enemy team. I hadn't even considered that. The enemy team was a lot more balanced. Anyway, this video has gone on far too long. I really look forward to making more videos like this in the future. And if you guys have an awesome replay, go ahead and send it in to me. I'd love to see it. I would like to get back to hosting replays. It's really nostalgic for me, and I think it's the right time. And with Italian tanks, or the full Italian tank tree coming to the game, well, things are sure to be interesting on the fields of War Thunder. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.